Hello guys, how are you doing? My name is Alexandre Tardiva, currently working for an architecture studio in France, and today I'm going to show you how to do this animation using Twinmotion. So let's jump in Twinmotion. So for this tutorial I'm going to use Twinmotion 2023.2 Community Edition, which supports Lumen. By the way, I want to thank a lot Twinmotion community page for sharing my work. Really appreciate it, guys. All the comments, reaction, and feedbacks on this animation. That's the reason, by the way, I'm doing this quick tutorial. So let me just create a new scene to show you these guys. I'm going to delete the starting base. Perfect. And set the camera a bit wider so we see better. Okay. So to present you a translators, I'm going first of all to do some copy of simple cubes to make sure you understand the basics of how to use animators. Okay. So by the way, you've got two kinds of animators, rotators and linear ones, translator. I'm going to take the first one, drag and drop it inside my viewport, and here we are. I'm going to create, so, oops. Okay, no problem. Copy 5. Let me just add some variation for translators. Okay, perfect. So, here's your object, here's your translator. How to understand that blue line. So that's your starting point, that's the ending point. And this data is sent by linking to your object. So your object will understand that my current position is the starting point of the animation. So I'll end my animation like 5 meters higher. Okay? That's the starting point, that's the ending. So every time you link an object, the current position of your code is set to the start of the animation. Okay? So let's put it aside. Here you can see the translator panel with all the settings. Here you can link your object, unlink, set your animator axis on X, Y or Z, set the distance, hit play to play your animation or not. 3 types of animation: loop, once or ping pong. Once play once, ping pong goes back and forth, and loop as by definition of a loop, it will restart. You can change the speed, you can add delay to ping pong and loop animation, not for once, and you can have trigger zone to make your animation play once your camera enter the trigger zone. Okay, we'll stick to simple Z animation on once. Okay, so let's link my cube, and as you can see, as I said, my cube is understanding the link, is linking now to the translator by saying your current position is the starting of the animation, and so it will end 5 meters higher. Okay, so what if I want, for example, my cube coming from the ground like that? How do I do that? That's pretty easy. What you have to do now is to open the XYZ panel. So you have the coordinates of the actual object you have. So that's the cube, that's the ground, that's the information of your translator. What you say to your cube is, from its position, the animation starts and do 5 meters on the axis and it ends, but you want it to end here. What you have to do is put the opposite of the distance, which is 5 here, so the result will be -5. -5 plus -0.4 will be minus 5.4. Now, if I just have to replace the file, and if I play my animation by hitting Control Save, sorry, if I hit Control Save now, I don't see my cube, because there is no speed. Okay, perfect. Control Save. Now you see your cube coming from the ground. That's what we wanted. Now, what if we want our cube to come from the top and end on the ground? Same thing, that's the current starting of the animation. You don't see the blue line because it's on negative value on the axis, so it's going down, as you can see here. So if I link my object, my cube is starting from its current position and going 5 meters under the ground. What I want is my cube coming from the top and ending on the ground. So I have to do the reverse of minus 5, which is 0.5. And 5 plus minus 0.4 will be 4.6. And now you've got your cube ending on the ground as you wanted. Now you have to understand a very important thing with Translator, which is the position, the actual position of your translator. Because if you set, for example, my translator higher, but my cube is here, and I want it to come from the ground, so I'm going to say the same thing as for the first one. I'm going to say an animation of 5 once and play like 5. Okay, I'm going to link my cube. My cube is understanding the translator settings as I'm going to start from where am I? I'm going to go in upper the Z direction on 5 meters. But you want it to appear from the ground, not where it is actually. You want to end it on the ground. So what I have to do now is minus 5 plus 2.74, which starts to be some math, and you have to memorize the distance of your translator and add some quick math. So not really worth it. It leads more on doing imprecise things and do some mistakes. So for example, if I want to do it now, it will be minus 5 plus 2.74, which would be minus 2.6. And now it ends on the ground. If I hit escape, Control S to make my animation work, now you see it's coming on the ground. It's working well, but I have to do some quick maths, memorizing the translator position and do the reverse, etc. Can be annoying, and if you have a lot of translator, that can very lead you to imprecise things. Now, what if I have a cube higher, but the translator on the 0? I want my cube to end here, so no problem. I'm going to link my cube, and same thing. If I want my cube to end on its current position before linking it, I just have to do minus 2.4. Now it will end to its position. Now, what happens if, for example, I link my object, I set everything, so now my cube is coming from the ground, so minus 2.4, okay, perfect. Now it's working, I set everything, but sadly I forget the cube aside. I need it on the same translator animation. So I'm going to, well, link my object. But what happened? What happened is, well, my cube is understanding that his animation goes from his current position and go 2 meters higher, but not coming from the ground now. Now if I want it, I have to set it to minus 4.4. But the thing is, I don't have my first cube. So the thing would be to take the first cube and say, well, now you go here, you finish here. It's not what we want. That's just leading to imprecise thing and to do mistakes. So be sure to link first all your objects before changing the translator Z position. Okay? Now let me show you how to set, for example, your walls, your exterior walls. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is create a new container named walls. I'm going to take this container, set it to active. So all the objects I'm going to drag and drop inside my viewport, it's going to be inside the folder. So that's an efficient, I guess, workflow. Let me just hit 8 to get inside rotators, hit 90. Okay, let's hit 9 to get inside the scale panel. Hit 7 for the position. Okay, going to drag and copy this wall. Okay, and now I hit control, hit and drag, create copy and rotate. Perfect. So let's say we have our walls here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to add translators to animate those walls. So drag and drop. I'm going to set everything, so I don't have to do it after. So I want my animation to be 5 meters, a speed of 5, once. Everything is set up, perfect. I'm going to create copy of this translator, so I need actually 3 copy of this one because I've got 4 walls. Okay. So as you can see here, I set the first one, and by copying the translator I set, they all share now the same settings. Now what I have to do is link my object. So here the first wall, second wall, third wall, and fourth wall. Everything is set up. Now I only have to do to set the position, to tell my walls to finish the animation on the ground, so -5. Perfect. Now if I hit Control Save, you see my walls coming from the ground. But that's to show you how they work, but actually I've set one translator for wall. That's not very efficient. The only purpose to do that is to create some speed variation. So for that, I'm going to keep the same distance, but with different speed. And that gets interesting because now they all share the same distance of animation, but not the same speed. So, of course, they're not going all the times at the same moment. And that will be very interesting because that gives us the opportunity to beat, I want to say, the translator limitation inside Twinmotion, because as you can only set the distance and the speed for example, for structural, for contextualization of a project like the volumetrics, how does your building looks like from the exterior with exterior walls, inside walls, etc., etc. What you can do is set a translator for your exterior walls on the same distance as for your interior walls. But because you set an higher speed for your exterior walls and a lower speed for your inside walls, they can share the same distance, but they won't appear at the same time because of the speed. And that gives you the opportunity of making, well, animation with some variation. Okay, so let's just delete this wall and let's go back into a concrete practice. So I won't be using the animation I show you in the beginning of the video. Let me just create a new animation with a new project. So this project, just to give you some indication of about this project was made inside ArchiCAD, where inside my CAD software I already have everything set in separate layers. So all my exterior walls are inside the good layer, etc, etc. And because I'm using the datasmith exporter, ArchiCAD is stacking all my mesh inside their layer and sending it by keeping the hierarchy and the mesh as it is in ArchiCAD and sending it to Twinmotion. So the good thing is when you do the data link, when you are inside Twinmotion, then you will find all your folders like these ones with all your meshes inside, which give you the opportunity, of course, of rearranging all your layers, etc. So you get more efficient when you have to work with your translators. Okay. So let me just create a video for my animation. So I need to go inside Media Panel, Video, Create Animation. Here we are. Let's go inside Camera, change some settings. That will be perfect. I'm going to hit twice Escape. The first one to exceed the value, and the second one to exceed the focal length panel. Perfect. Now if I hit Control Save, I already made some animation. I already set some translators, so I will see my animation going. Perfect. Perfect. So what I want to do with you guys is my roof panels. So they are actually hidden here. So let's set their position to where it should be. Yeah. Refresh. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate these roof panels in a kind of a wave effect. So what I do is I'm taking my current folder, set it to active, take my translator, drag and drop it inside my viewport, set the distance, so I want my roof panels to come from the top and ending the position where they are actually, so minus 30, let's say 5, and because I already set everything on my translator, now I only have to drag and copy it. I need 13 copies. Perfect. And now what I have to do is just linking my object. Here what happened is I've got a section cube, so I have to disable it and delete it back. Okay. So I'm linking all my roof panels here. So with this workflow, I can show you that you can save a lot of time by having an efficient workflow, because then you will understand that even if you have, as you can see inside, a lot of walls, by arranging all of your layers, etc, etc, linking your object will be, as you can see, it's just some click. Just some clicking. There is nothing to do. There is no specific things to do. Well, now I got everything linked. In a 30, I want them to finish where they are, so I have to do the opposite, opening XYZ panel, and I'm going to say them 30. Now if I hit escape, I deselect my object, Control Save, and now I will be able to see my animation going. Perfect. Now as you can see, we saw the panels appearing completely at the beginning, but that's not what I want. So for that I'm going to use section cubes. section cubes are very useful to make things appear more suddenly. Make sure you set it higher than your building and scale it so you don't have shadows coming. Be aware that you can only add 4 section cubes in a file, and they are really power consuming. Okay, so I set it, refresh, okay, hit escape, play my animation, and now I've got all my roof panels appearing suddenly. What I want now, because I did one roof panel by Translator, I want to create some speed variation. So I'm going to keep the 5 as the maximum value. I'm going to decrease this value by 0.1 every time. Come on. Okay, so now I'm starting from speed of 5, 490, 480, 70, etc. 2.3.8. And because they share all the same distance but not the same speed, that's what will create this wave effect you can see in a second. Right there. Perfect. I made a mistake here because this one? Yeah, because I've got a translator sharing both of the animation. Running this one, and I should have a translator with 2. No? Okay, so I'm just going to, because there is only one to do, I'm going to recreate it. Minus black is your position. Let's go back where you should be. Okay, let's take my translator, link my object. I hope that was a good one, and say 30. And because your Gaia side has a, okay, so it will be 5. Escape, control save. You see the shadow appearing. I should make my section cube higher so it won't be annoying my animation anymore. Okay, going by there. Escape, control save. I didn't enable my section cube. I made a mistake, sorry. Now it's working nice. That's it. Now, because I set my folder to active, I've got all the translator in the good folder. I don't have to work anymore on it, so I can close the folder. And if I want to work on something else, I just have to hide the folder and go working on another one. So let me just take this one. Okay, now translator, and this is how you can see how your animation is going. Okay, well guys, I hope you find this tutorial useful. I hope I was clear enough for you guys to make these translator things easy to understand. Can't wait to see your works with those translators, and I hope to see you again on the next tutorial. Thank you guys, and see you on the next one. Bye.